the
Well,
viewing stations.
don't say that word.
Not
Live.
many people outside of the athletes and their families really have been to a high school ski race. A lot of times we'll see pictures, photographs on Facebook or things like that of kids racing and doing us proud, but you don't really get a chance to go and actually watch. You don't really know how to. I never knew how to. I just saw people's photographs, but you can do this. I just had bills on this day. The race organizers have planned the event to take place in the evening following final exams for each school, so you know that everyone will be nice and especially motivated, ready to burn off some steam. A little extra lighting is being brought in for the race, as is music and some basic concessions. And so everybody from the community is invited to come out and enjoy that. That will be Thursday, January 19th.
We're pressing Cedar.
Coming up this
Pressing Cedar.
Thursday. It begins at 5:30 p.m. and continues for a couple of hours after that. So you can go on out and see some of the people, some of the students that are making our area proud in the area of downhill skiing. Maybe 1 o'clock this afternoon. Otherwise, a cloudy day and chilly with a high of 18 and wind chill values below zero, about -4. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low of 8. But
We went from 9 to 2.
Partly sunny and 27. The picture is a perfect winter day.
No,
Partly
people
sunny,
watching.
11 on Saturday, and then sunny and 30 on Sunday with a calm wind. Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, they thought it was like
going
to be a big announcement maybe.
Mostly cloudy skies in between with a high of 36. We will cross that bridge when we come to it on Monday. It's 11 o'clock. The news is next on News Talk 5.
11 o'clock already?
Yep.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. There could be close to an inch of ice on the roads and power lines by the time a winter storm has moved out of the southern plains.
You're fine.
Driving could be dangerous or just about impossible.
Just no swearing.
Don't say the F word.
Part of transportation.
Just Judas Priest is doing.
Equipment, chippers and chainsaws, and have all that kind of equipment for down trees. We're preparing in every way you can to get that.
There's a state of emergency declared in every county in Oklahoma. It's a procedural thing, critical.
Oh, we went from 10 to 3 again. We're pressing plants, cedars right now. And these are going to be going in my new gallery in Suttons Bay. And they're also going to go on a table I'm making.
Were hit by a train, but both survived. The group's manager, Jeremy Westby, saying in a statement the band members were walking across the track before a scheduled gig in Oakland, California. Late last night, Westby revealing drummer David Garibaldi and bass player Mark Van Wageningen both responsive and being treated at a hospital. The accident was near Yoshi's, a jazz club where the group was scheduled to play 2 shows last night. Both were canceled. Jacqueline Carl, Fox News.
Chief just got word of a criminal settlement with the Justice Department over Takata airbags to be announced at 1:30 Eastern Time in Detroit. Those airbag inflator ruptures are linked to at least 16 deaths worldwide. You're listening to Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced. You are
we leave the cedars in it, and then they burn out in the kiln firing. And then we stain them in iron oxide, and they'll end up being like this. This is just a sample I had. It's a really teeny, small little plant, so you can hardly even see it in this tile, but they'll get burned out, and then we'll stain them and fire them again, and then it'll be a permanent stain. And you'll be able to see the impression.
Frank, with your local news update on News Talk 580. This update is brought to you by Advantage Electric. Around the corner, around the clock for residential, commercial, industrial electrical services, and business or home generators. Call 929-4900 for your Advantage Electric expert. A pair of Michigan members of Congress.
Yeah, they've been really popular.
Legislation, which
I've been making these for probably 10 years.
To perform a year-long study on the pipeline under the Straits of Mackinac. Republican Dave Trott and Democrat Debbie Dingell say that bill would shut the pipeline down if it's found to pose any significant risk. Charlevoix the Beautiful is going through some challenging times. 2 fires and the recent MDOT construction on the US 31 drawbridge has had an impact on the downtown. Allison Hubbard with the Charlevoix Area Chamber of Commerce knows that they'll make it through with a little help from their friends.
Those businesses now need you more than ever. You know, this is our slower time of year, absolutely. But with the fires, it's definitely, you know, we really just want to get that message out there that we are open for business.
Nissan's truck marketing team, the passion of Star Wars fans is shocking, frankly. And there are so many. 150 million Star Wars fans in the U.S. Nissan has a special sport version of the Rogue at this year's auto show. And at least $137 million is up for grabs tonight. The Mega Million Stars beat the Red Wings 5-2, while the Warriors topped the Pistons 127-107. We'll see some isolated snow showers through early afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy, cold, highs in the upper teens. I'm Joel Frank with your local news update.
We're making 500 of these.
Talk 580 WCCM
And
Colorado.
I'm almost done. This is like 400, and I'm at 441.
And it's brought to you by DTE Energy. And I don't know if there are very many established.
We have one watcher now, Willow.
That are as important to our
One
community
watcher.
as
Yep.
the Father Credit
Can you
Foundation.
tell who it is?
I mean, it is
No, a couple people. It says when they come up on the screen who, but they don't.
Well, you know, people are working.
help our
Oh yeah,
neighbors.
no, I'm not worried about it.
It has been a non.
10 is the most I've ever had so far.
Place of assistance for folks who
Yeah,
need it,
so
either long-term or short-term.
We have one loyal
And
fan
two
right now.
hours here from the Father Credit Foundation. I'm really happy that you were able to come in.
Oh, now we have two.
And we're so excited that you
Wow.
invited us. Oh, well, you know, we've been involved with Father Credit Foundation for a long time. And the things that I've learned from our volunteering at the food drive, which is coming up, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, is, it's a lot. I mean, this is not a handout organization. There are people that utilize.
We're pressing cedars right now.
Next door neighbor that you might not have been aware of.
These are Leelanau County cedar trees
Next year.
from near Lake Leelanau.
You know, I remember during the more recessionary times, there were people that were losing their jobs and they were trying to have food on the table for their
3 Spartan stores, and also we have 2 drop-off locations at Team Bob's and also Fox Motors. So we need to staff all of that, because if we don't have volunteers there, people are like, oh, I'm not gonna bother driving by, or I'm not gonna drive it, and so it's really, the volunteers are crucial for having a successful drive.
Well, and I would suggest this too, because for one thing, as an individual, certainly go in and volunteer. You'll feel great, or you and a friend make an afternoon of it, or a couple of afternoons, or a morning, or whatever works with your schedule. But if you are in a civic group, or a bridge club, or reading group, or church group, or basketball team, or
We're pressing cedar trees right now.
get together and make it a project, right?
Correct.
These are going to be going in my new gallery in Suttons Bay.
We have to look at each and every item. So
The countertops there. And then they're also going to go on a couple tables I'm
We
making.
have to look at each and every can to be sure that it's not got a recall or that it's not expired, so that we can sort all of that out. So we also need volunteers at the foundation to help us sort food afterwards.
And so that's a little reminder also to people that would donate food. Make sure it's not.
The store locations, we have our top 10 items that we need, and we post that, and so when shoppers come in, they'll get a flyer with those top 10 items. That's really what helps us out in the pantry, if we can stick to those basic things. I remember back in the day before I was involved, I would give my Indian chutney, because of course, no one's going to buy Indian chutney, well, our guests aren't interested in Indian chutney.
Well, by the same token, some years, and you can go, I don't know, you can correct me on this, we got so much corn. There was corn for days. So is that in your top 10 list?
Corn is not in our top 10 list.
Okay,
Vegetables are not in our top 10 list. Vegetables are relatively inexpensive to purchase for us, so we really want to focus on those high protein items that take up yes, and they take up a lot of our budget. If we don't have those things donated to us, we have to purchase those things. And the vegetables are easy enough for us to purchase. They're a low budget item.
So, which is not to say don't give that if that's what you can do.
Correct.
But do you know off the top of your head what the top 10 items are?
Oh, let's see, protein items, so, peanut butter, tuna fish, canned chicken, beans, spaghetti sauce, pasta, and the 3 others that I'm not remembering.
Well, basically what it is, and this, someone gave me an education there, I think when I was working in a food truck one year, and they said, they were frustrated, I think we make it nutritious, they have a little variety, then that's how you should be shopping for your donations. Think of meals. And so maybe you can't afford as much, but I think it's better to get that type of thing for an entire meal plate, instead of just the vegetables. So, we're doing this backwards because I was going to talk about your volunteers needed, but we'll get to that in a minute. As long as we're off and running on the food drive. How does a person utilize the food pantry? This is where the donations go to the Father Fred Foundation, and then people are able to come in and, for lack of a better term, go shopping, get their groceries.
Right, and we do want it to be as normal a shopping experience as possible. And just because somebody needs to depend on a food pantry, we don't want to shame them because of that.
Right.
And so, I think the food pantry is one of the most delightful places at the foundation. It looks like, a small family market that you would go to. And so people can use our food pantry twice a month, and they get enough food for 4 days, and that's whether they're a family of 1 or a family of 17. We work with nutritionists and dietitians out, you know, 3 of this or 2 of that, depending on the size of their family. We also try to have fresh produce, milk, eggs. We purchase those, so again, that's why if we get the high protein items in, it frees up more of our budget to be able to purchase those perishables. We don't necessarily want perishables coming in at the food drive,
No,
because it's hard
but
for us
that's
to
where the
turn that
cash
around.
donations will be used
Correct,
for that.
exactly,
To go
exactly.
shopping
Mhm.
in the moment. Here's something about the Father Fred's food pantry. No sidelong glances going on in there, or, look at you, you have to use the food pantry,
Mhm.
that type of thing. It's very normal.
Yeah, what I love is walking, and I'm the volunteer coordinator.
Thank you, Donna.
Volunteer
Yeah, your
volunteer
shelving is really,
amazing
is perfect.
individuals, and I just love walking through the food pantry.
And you can see your paintings
Conversations that are going on.
right
And,
behind
you know,
me.
a volunteer might say, oh, you know, I got this new recipe for this, or what's even better is when a guest comes and says, oh, I took this and I made this with it, and it's just.
Yeah, your shelves are being
Help with some of our
being
guests'
utilized.
brownies.
We needed new ones,
You can offer
so we
treats.
outused your shelves. Now we have new ones. So
To come in and talk with, you know, volunteers.
you know, they were perfect for
Yes, they only come in
2
on
years. Now we need more.
Because they want
But
to work with Sally in the food
Yep.
pantry. They only come in on Fridays because they want to work with Linda. So it's really cool to see those relationships develop.
You know, you have such a good attitude about it. I love that, you know.
you're welcome, Donna. Yeah.
You know, would you mind taking?
Oh, you're welcome to come visit, of course.
We have someone holding on the phone, but you need your headset on.
Oh,
there. Sue Bowers here from the.
Yeah, those are the
Foundation.
the ones I got from the wood shop were the first ones I had gotten after I'd gotten yours.
I did, and also
So-
comment, and I so appreciate your work.
It
You know, I'm in Petoskey, I understand
we had reached the
that you-
point where we needed more.
I wanted to mention to you,
Yep.
the host spoke about.
Yeah, yours are right over here.
And, you know, a bunker, budget load of corn, and when I was driving, listening to this, I thought, that's provision, and there are a million nutritious corn recipes that you could take that.
Right there and right here.
World doors on good nutrition.
And then here are the new ones.
And you said it, so you sort of answered my question.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm just getting used to this
We have 20
live
people waiting to go through the food
feature,
pantry.
so it's
a pretty slick
it is. It's a lot of fun.
It's pretty much, you know, boom, 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 boom.
It seems to work really well. In the past, it hasn't worked very well with the connections, but I guess they must have fixed it. Because now it seems to be
And even if you had index
streaming live and
you know, where the
no
corn
breakups
is
or
out,
anything,
if somebody wanted to
which is nice.
take or read a recipe suggestion, that would be so helpful.
That's the lady that those paintings are in the back.
What we also do is MSU Extension comes in a couple of times a month and does a demonstration. We don't
You're
have
going
a
live in a few
kitchen, so we
minutes.
can't do cooking demonstrations or have classes at the foundation, but she'll bring in like salsa recipes or stew recipes or whatever.
That is so cool.
All right, I just finished my board.
Someday, God willing, he'll provide you a demo kitchen and you can teach people how to eat correctly.
Stranger things have happened, right?
Well, it's good to hear your feedback. I'm not sure how everyone's going to take it. This new live feature, I think it will become some kind of new.
I was just referencing.
It's the wave of the future. It has to be having video.
Oh, there was a year we had,
Corn for a year.
we also had a mountain of green beans.
You always see people
And it actually collapsed.
just talking on Facebook about different issues, usually political things. And they'll just be sitting there on live TV with like thousands of viewers just sitting them. They'll be sitting there ranting about things.
It is true.
You know, so I'm thought, why not just sit here and make stuff? Well, if people want to watch someone rant, then
Out on your own and learning how to live life. A lot of us, we need to stretch our budgets, and you help people do that. So about the actual food drive
Yeah.
itself, that begins. Tell me
It's
some
really good to
details
hear your
on the
feedback.
website here too, and I'm a little distracted.
It begins on Saturday, January the 28th, and we will.
Yeah, I plan on being live now.
Locations on that weekend and the following weekend, the 4th and the 5th, from 10 until 6. So
I mean, especially when I'm working late at night and by myself and no one's around. It's almost like drinking coffee, having the live camera going. It keeps me Keeps me up, keeps me working.
We are staffed from 11:30 to 1:30.
Yeah, definitely more positive.
So we've got a lot of coverage. I think that it totals up to, ideally, we need 576 volunteers.
So, yeah, that's my plan, is just
So tell me
have
this,
a live
I remember hearing
workshop sessions now.
from the schools not too long ago, or maybe it was over the summer. A lot of children take advantage of the school lunch program.
But
free lunch.
I have to go now because I'm now I'm going to go to Instagram because they have live Instagram too. So now I'm going to go to Instagram and do a live.
Is there a change in your clientele from summer compared to the rest of the seasons?
No,
Do you
there's
offer
not
anything different?
No, there's not a change.
Yeah, you better get to work.
What we're able to offer is we offer over the summer, we have an ask.
Aunt Robbie, I'm just about ready to go. So I see that you just
School-age children, we're able
you
to
just
offer
signed
them
in.
a bag of
So I'm gonna.
groceries.
I have to go to Instagram now.
They're not getting breakfast and lunch at the school. The other thing.
I'll see you guys later. I'm going to be back later for sure.